What's going on, guys? It's your boy J Pizzy. Welcome back to another video. Konami just dropped the power of will or power of strength, power of stone. I don't know. I forgot the name of the pack, but we're here today. We're going to be looking over the Crystal Beast deck. I have been playing the Crystal Conclave version, so we're going to jump right into the deck list for now. Shout out to Neshy. I should start with that. You guys can go find his YouTube channel. He's like the Crystal Beast guy on YouTube, and it's literally how I was able to learn the deck, right? So prior to it being released, after it was announced, I went out there, did my research, looked up Neshy, and I was just studying how he played with the game, how he played with the deck. So let me tell you, not all the time do I just pick up a deck and just learn it by myself. Sometimes I have to look at other people, learn it a little bit, and then I go in, use it myself, and then I could find like combos in there that really help against other decks, right? And then plus two, you guys already know when I'm playing against these people in Master Duel, I know most of the decks in Master Duel ins and outs, so I usually know the choke points because I'm a Sky Striker player as well. So it's really helpful with Crystal Beast to know the choke points and to know the exact moments of when to interrupt your opponent, right? So let's jump right into the card by card. So we're playing two Maxis. I don't really like Maxi, but I think it's just a necessary evil. It's in the game to like keep combo decks in check, but I guess you're always gonna have that Maxi minigame. The deck itself doesn't really lose to Maxi because you only do one special summon, unless you're going into Dogra, then you have two special summons if you need that extra draw. We run one Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle. This is so that all of our Crystal Beast monsters that are in our Spell and Trap card zone, once a special summon, we can special summon all of them. So Ruby Carbuncle is how we go for game. And you want to make sure to hold your Ruby Carbuncle either in your deck, on your field in the Spell and Trap card zone, or in your graveyard, right? You never want it to get banished. If it gets banished, we basically lose, right? Because there's no way for us to special summon our Crystal Beast from our back row. We run 3 Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is just too powerful across Yu-Gi-Oh! Period, right? There's too many decks that Ash Blossom, you ash them, for example, branded, and they can't do shit, right? So we run 3 Ash Blossom. It helps us a lot. We can actually ash Spright of Miracle, gigantic Spright as well. So there's too many cards in the game to where if you ash correctly, you can completely just stop your opponent from being able to play the game. So that's why we run 3 Ash. We run 1 Cobalt Eagle as our second level 4 target in the deck, to be able to go into our XC's plays. He doesn't really do anything outside of that. And then Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus, the core of this deck. If Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus, it might just be the mind of this deck, right? Because Bridge of the Heart is the heart of the deck, right? So Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus, you normal summon it, you set your Rainbow Dragon, your Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon onto your Spell and Trap card zone, and then it allows you to go ahead and search and special summon a Crystal Beast from your deck and search Rainbow Dragon to your hand. So Sapphire Pegasus literally sets up your cards. If you have all 3 of your Sapphire Pegasus in rotation, you can actually set Ruby Carbuncle to the field. If your opponent Harpy's Feather Dusters it, it's okay, because once it's in your graveyard, it's safe, right? And sometimes with the current meta, if it gets banished, you really, you're screwed. So I rather have my Ruby in the graveyard rather than it being banished, right? So outside of that, we run Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. We run 3 of them. The reason I do is because one of them automatically is going to get banished, so we're able to search Rainbow Dragon, and Rainbow Dragon just stays in our hand for the rest of the duel. So I wanted personally to have 3 of them in the deck so I can have 2 of them in rotation at all times, because that's 6,000 points of damage that we might be giving up. And it literally, to finish your opponents, you need 2 of these on field and 2 Sapphire Pegasus. It's literally the only way you can do it. And I don't even think that's game. You need to hit them at Ruby as well. Let me do the math on that really quickly. Okay, so if you have 2 Sapphire Pegasus and 2 Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, you can go for game, because I think that's 9,000 points of damage, 9,600 points of damage. Can you just do it with 1? I don't think you can. Let's just run the math on that. No, you can't. You'll be 700 and you'll be 200 damage short. I think in one of my replays that comes up where I'm literally like 200 damage short, and I had summoned Ruby in defense mode and I couldn't go for game, right? So be mindful of that. That you need your win condition with this deck is 2 Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragons and 1 Sapphire Pegasus and your Ruby Carbuncle all hitting your opponent directly, right? If you have 2 Sapphire Pegasus, it works out better because then you can pop a monster and then go for game, right? We run Hoppies, Feather Dusters. There's too many spells and trap card decks in the game right now. It just, you know, it works. You have to run it. Some people don't like running it. Some people drop it for Cosmic. I don't think it's worth it. Foolish Burial Goods. This is our way of dumping Bridge of Salvation, and then Bridge of Salvation is our way of searching one crystal, adding 1 Crystal Beast monster from our deck to our hand, and then 1 field spell from our deck to our hand, right? Rainbow Bridge of the Heart is how we're able to add our Crystal Bond or Crystal Ultimateness to our hand, right? So anytime you have Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, usually I search in your hand at first. Usually I search Crystal Bond, because Crystal Bond gets you into your Zenith, which gets you into a Rainbow Dragon and 2 Pegasuses in hand, because Crystal Bond lets you add a Pegasus. Zenith also allows, well, I'm going to call Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon Zenith, okay? He also allows you to add 1 Crystal Beast to your hand. So that's 2 Crystal Beasts in your hand, and if you drew into Rainbow Bridge of the Heart already, you can just activate Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, pop the one that was special summoned off the Zenith, and then you're able to add any of your spells or traps, or you could just add Awakening to your hand because you already have Rainbow Dragon, right? So I can show you guys that in a second. Crystal Bond, as I just said, 1 Crystal Beast to your hand and 1 to the field to the spell and trap card zone. Pot of Prosperity, just in case we need to search for cards. We banished 6 from our extra deck. Our extra deck really isn't that important in this deck, so you know, you really don't have to care about what you banish all the time. Sometimes it does come up. So Necro Valley, it stops all your graveyard effects, right? So this is usually to shut down your opponent. Unfortunately, it has the effect of shutting you down as well. So if you want to special summon from your graveyard on your following turn, you want to make sure to Conclave bounce Necro Valley to your hand, right? Duel Academy is much of the safer choice. It allows you to get a pop on your opponent's turn when you activate a trap card, and then it also allows you to go for that 1,000 extra points of damage to your Zenith to be able to have it hit your opponent for 4,000 points of damage, right? So Duel Academy has come up for me where I needed just that extra push to be able to finish an opponent, and it gave him the 1,000 damage that I needed. Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. So this is the heartbeat of the deck, right? So during your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Crystal Beast monster in addition to your regular normal summoning set, and you can only use the following effect of Rainbow Bridge of the Heart once per turn. During your main phase, you can destroy 1 Crystal Beast card you control or in your hand, and if you do add 1 Crystal Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand, if a Crystal Beast card is placed in your Spell and Trap card zone, even during the damage phase, you could target 1 card your opponent controls, return both this card and this card, return both that card and this card to the hand. So this is a card bounce on your opponent's turn, and it's a bounce on your turn. So let me show you guys how it's a bounce on our turn, right? When you normal summon your first Crystal Beast, if you normal summon Pegasus, well, if you special summon Pegasus off of Zenith, as we discussed, you know, Crystal Bond already adds us another Sapphire Pegasus. When you activate Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, you normal summon your second Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus that we searched off for Crystal Bond, and then once you place either another Zenith in your Spell and Trap card zone, or you place your Sapphire Pegasus in your Spell and Trap card zone, Rainbow Bridge of the Heart is now allowed to bounce 1 card on the field, and then you can reactivate it because this card is not you can only activate it once per turn. The only part of this card that's a once per turn effect is you can only use the following effect of Rainbow Bridge of the Heart once per turn, which is the pop to be able to go ahead and search. So you can activate Rainbow Bridge of the Heart as number of times. So if your opponent bounces your Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, you can literally just reactivate it, right? But if you bounce it, you're using it as an advantage to bounce it and whatever card your opponent has, and then you can just reactivate it. I've done that so many times where I've used it to bounce an opponent's card. Maybe it's a negate. He doesn't negate the bounce. I bounce his negate, and then I'm able to activate the ability to add 1 Crystal Spell or Trap from my deck to my hand. And usually the first thing I search is Miracle and or Conclave, right? We run 3 droplets. You need droplet in this meta. It's the only way to break boards, I think, effectively. And with this deck, I feel very comfortable with having 3 droplets inside of this ratio right now, right? We run 3 Crystal Awakening of the Crystal Ultimateness. So this card is literally how we get to turbo out our Ruby Carbuncle from the deck, spell or trap card zone, or the graveyard. And then Ruby is able to special summon all of our other Crystal Beast monsters, right? So keep this in mind in your grind game for this deck, right? You have to, as I said at the start, if I didn't say it at the start of this video, to play this deck you have to be extremely patient, because if you run out of your Awakening of the Crystal Ultimateness, you might as well just surrender, because you have no way to win. If your board is clear, you have no way to special summon Ruby, and that's basically it for game, right? So really and truly, you should be aiming to win the game within 2 awakenings. If you have to get into your 3rd awakening, you know, you're kind of struggling, you're probably gonna lose. That's what I've noticed. Like, you have to be a really good player if you're getting to your 3rd awakening and your opponent is still not dead, right? So that's the name of the game with this deck. You keep your opponent at bay as long as possible so that you can use either your last awakening to special summon Ruby Carbuncle and go for game, or your 2nd awakening to be able to special summon Ruby Carbuncle and then go for game, right? Your first one is always going to be the search for either Miracle or Conclave, right? And then the 2nd one should be your Ruby Carbuncle to the field to go for game. Or if you don't want to do it that way, you can just use Conclave to special summon your Ruby Carbuncle, have everything be special summoned to the field, and then you can use your Awakening to just search out another trap to continue the grind game, right? But do keep in mind that Conclave special summoning Ruby is if you're able to completely clear the opponent's field and they have no way to continue playing. It did come up against an Adamancipator player one time where I completely negated his field. He didn't really have any plays, and then I just used Conclave special summon Ruby, soul charged everything to the field, and then we just went for game, right? And you guys seeing me now, I'm starting to talk like Neshy because I've watched this video so much in the last couple weeks. But anyway, so Bridge of Salvation, we already ran over this. It searches our field spell and searches one of our Crystal Beasts. Miracle is our pop and negate, our Omni negate. You can, if you have 2 miracles, you can literally activate 2 of them because it's not a once per turn. The only once per turn is that you can place 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck, hand, deck, or graveyard face up your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell, right? So usually you activate Conclave. When Conclave activates, you special summon Ruby. Ruby activates, you special summon Sapphire Pegasus. Then Miracle allows you to set your Crystal Beast from your deck to the spell and trap card zone. Usually this is where I use it to set either an extra Pegasus or an extra Zenith, right? Conclave, this is how we special summon Ruby out. This is the name of the game. We special summon Ruby out, and then it just special summons everything from the back row. I think I've said that so many times in this video, right? And then also it allows you to bounce. So you can bounce this and your Zenith that's in your spell and trap card zone. So when you go to attack, you could actually special summon Zenith from your hand as well, right? For the extra deck, we run 1 Dweller. That's for the future for tier when it comes. Down Magician, it's never come up. Zodiac, it has come up where I went into a power play with Zeus and I was able to wipe the board twice, and that's what won me the game. We run 2 Bagusta. The reason is Bagusta just gives us that extra mile that we need to just finish games off. Sometimes you just don't have enough damage on field, and if you use your 2 Sapphire Pegasus, you go into Bagusta, you stop your opponent's plays, right? Time Thief Redoer, it came up one time in the Edlich game because I was trying to get his traps out of his deck and also banish his Edlich, so that's when it came up. We run 1 Dugaris. Dugaris is what helps us to be able to draw into our cards, but do keep in mind, you activate Dugaris, make sure you have Bridge of the Heart on field, because Bridge of the Heart will act as your draw when you pop one of your Crystal Beasts and be able to search your deck, right? So be very mindful that after you activate Dugaris to draw 2, you have no way of drawing for your 2nd turn, okay? Divine Arsenal, AAA Zeus, we keep it in the deck to be able to board wipe. And then here's our link climb. We have Nightmare Phoenix, IP Masquerena, Dark the Charmer, Nightmare Unicorn, Access Code Talker, and Underworld Goddess. Underworld Goddess is to get over big bodies, and sometimes you just need Access Code Talker to just go for game, right? So we're coming up on the 15-minute mark here, and I think we should just jump into the replays. Hope you guys are enjoying the video so far, and hope you guys are understanding the deck a little bit. So let's jump straight into the gameplay so I can show you guys how the deck works in practical mode. All right, Make sure to like, comments, and subscribe, guys. We just hit 280 something subscribers on the channel. Hopefully we can get to 300 before the end of next week, and then after that, let's hit 500 subscribers before the end of April. Right? We have some really amazing goals to hit. I want to hit 1,000 subscribers before June. Maybe. Let's see what happens, right? So anyway, let's jump straight into the game. We activate Crystal Bridge to be able to search out I think I searched Miracle. Did I search Miracle? Yes, I did. So then we normal summon Sapphire Pegasus. I had Rainbow Dragon in my hand already, so you know, I was just trying to see what he was gonna do because his field was lighting up, right? So we set Conclave, set Miracle, pass. He's gonna activate. I'm gonna activate Max C off of the circular. I was debating here if to negate the Call by the Grave with Miracle, because if I had negated the Call by the Grave, I would have been able to draw 2 cards, because this would have been 1 draw and then this would have been the 2nd draw. Instead, I opted to go for the circular negate with Crystal Miracle. So we pop Sapphire Pegasus, put him in my back row, destroy Mathmech Circular, and then we activate Crystal Conclave, special summon our Ruby. Ruby's going to activate to special summon my Sapphire Pegasus. I'm going to set Zenith in the back row. We're going to activate Miracle to set another Sapphire Pegasus. Conclave is going to activate when he sets Microcoder. I'm going to send his Sigma because Sigma will banish. It won't go back to his hand. And then he's going to go to attack my Ruby Carbuncle and just back out when he realizes that next turn is, you know, it's just going to be over for him. I can just go attack with my Crystal Beasts, any of my Crystal Beasts, and then just special summon Zenith. And depending on what we draw, if we drew into Awakening, he was definitely cooked, right? So on to the next duel. Alright guys, so we're back here with another one. We're up against Adamancipator. Now another thing with this deck is you have to make sure you go first every game, right? Because if you're not going first, you're probably going to lose, right? So we're going to go ahead and search Crystal Bond. Crystal Bond is going to activate. We're going to add Sapphire Pegasus, set Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, and activates effect, special summon Sapphire Pegasus, add Rainbow Dragon. Then we're going to normal summon Sapphire Pegasus, set our other Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, activate Awakening, show Rainbow Dragon, grab Bridge of the Heart. Bridge of the Heart is going to activate. We're going to go ahead and pop the Sapphire Pegasus we special summon from our deck because its effect is negated, which is fine. You want to keep the one that has its effect so that it goes to your spell and trap card zone. He's going to activate Miracle Rapture. I'm going to activate Ash. He's going to activate Gamma. I was debating here if I should have negated the Gamma with Miracle, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to hold the Miracle until he has enough cards on the field to where it makes sense for me to bounce twice, right? So he's gonna go ahead and send his Revival Golem, revive the Golem, and then activate Grass is Greener. I was like, okay, perfect. This is the perfect moment for me to go ahead and negate, right? So we pop Sapphire Pegasus. It goes to our back row. We're gonna go ahead and activate Conclave. I chose not to activate Bridge of the Heart. Conclave is gonna special summon my Sapphire Pegasus, and then it's going to set Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, and then Bridge of the Heart can now activate, and we're going to be able to bounce his Gamma. And then he normal summons his Researcher, and then we just use Conclave, bounce Researcher, and then activate Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon to special summon from my hand. He knows he's done. You guys see that he's done too, because next round we could just Awakening, Ruby, special summon, because he's about to attack into my Sapphire Pegasus. Attack with Zenith. Zenith would be able to allow me to special summon again, and then he would just get clapped up. It says connection failed here. I guess he probably just turned off his phone or whatever. All right, so on to the next game. All right, so here we're back with another game. This one is against Runic Spright, I believe, or maybe it was just pure Spright. I think it was pure Spright. It might have been pure Spright, but anyway, we're going to activate Crystal Bomb. We're going to activate Shifter, so he's under Shifter. We drew into Summon Breaker. This is back when I was playing Summon Breaker. I'm actually thinking about taking out Necro Valley and adding Summon Breaker instead. I don't know, it just seems better in my opinion. We're going to special summon Cobalt Eagle off of Zenith, and then normal summon Sapphire Pegasus, go into Dugaris. Dugaris is going to allow me to draw. We drew into Conclave, drew into Miracle. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Bridge of the Heart, pop Zenith, add Awakening, set, activate Awakening, show Rainbow Dragon, no special summon Sapphire Pegasus. We're going to be able to set from our deck to the field. Activate set Conclave, set Miracle, activate Summon Breaker, pass turn. So he's going to activate Harpy's Feather Duster. We have the Miracle for that, so we're just going to Miracle that. Pop our Sapphire Pegasus. Right, Pegasus is going to go in the Spell and Track Card zone. At this time I didn't, actually I did do it. So I activated Conclave, Special Summon Ruby, and we're going to be able to Special Summon Sapphire Pegasus and set Zenith to the field. The reason why we did that is because we can Conclave back Zenith to our hand and one monster our opponent controls. So Summon Breaker is going to activate right here, so he's going to have to end his turn. And all he gets to do is add starter. Oh no, he added smashers to his hand, right? So on his end turn, I have to skip my draw phase, but that's fine because we have Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. Bridge of the Heart is going to pop my I was going to pop my Ruby, but he activated Ogre, which is fine. Ogre is just gonna pop. We're gonna switch everything to attack position, except Ruby. And then we're going to Special Summon Rainbow Dragon, Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, and try to go for game. I think this is the game where I just missed it. No, I didn't. So this is not the game. So we're 27 under. We go into Baguska just so that we can finish the game next turn 100%. Everything goes in defense mode. We pass. He's going to draw. He's playing Spright, so I'm not really worried about what he activates. He's going to normal summon Frog. It's going to get negated. He's going to special Blue. It's going to get negated. And then he's going to go into Sky Cavalry. I don't know what for. It's going to go into defense mode, get negated. And then Summon Breaker is going to end his turn. And then I could just go for game right after that. So he just scoops up, right? So that's how we were able to beat Spright. We just controlled them until we were able to get them out of here. Alright, so for the most part, you guys have only seen me control my opponents. So let's see how it goes up against another control deck who's going to try to control me as well. He's going to set 4, activate Heavenly Lord of Heavenly Prisons, and pass turn, right? So our hand is pretty good right now from what I see here. We have Crystal Bond, we have the Ash in case he's playing Welcome Labyrinth or Edlich, it doesn't really matter. And we drew into 2 Awakenings, so we don't have to search that off of our bridge, right? And we have Conclave, so the only search we need to really add to our hand right now is we need to get Rainbow Dragon in hand, and we also need to get Miracle in hand, right? For follow-up on our opponent's turn. We can't kill our opponent in one turn, which is fine, but we can, you know, set up for next turn to where he's going to lose for sure, right? So I'm going to activate Crystal Bond. He's going to activate Scarlet. We're going to Ash the Scarlet so he can't special summon Edlich the Golden Lord from his deck, right? So get that out of here. Crystal Bond is going to add me Sapphire Pegasus, and then we're going to crystallize Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. It's going to activate special summon Sapphire Pegasus, add Rainbow Dragon. So from where I'm standing right now, we're in a really good spot. We have 2 Awakening, which means we don't have to search Awakening. The only card we're missing here is Miracle, and we have Rainbow Dragon in hand, which means that we have access to Ruby on follow-up without us having to search for a second Awakening, right? So we go ahead, we activate Bridge of the Heart, normal summon our Sapphire Pegasus. He's going to activate Summon Limit, which is fine because Sapphire Pegasus is about to set a card from my deck to the field, which activates Bridge of the Heart. We're able to bounce his Summon Limit back to his hand. He's going to Heavenly Warlords, Heavenly Prison to special summon to the field, right? But his Summon Limit still gets bounced. He's going to set Pot of Extravagance, which was a weird set to me. We're going to reactivate Bridge. Go ahead and pop my Sapphire Pegasus. It goes to the back row. Grab Miracle, set Conclave, pass turn. We have Awakening. I'm not really worried about that. I should have popped. I do want to preface this. I should have popped this Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. It's only later on when I started dueling with the deck a lot more that I learned that. And that I figured that out, right? Because you don't want to have this Sapphire Pegasus go to your back row. You want this one to go to the graveyard, this one to stay on the field, so you can pop this one with your Miracle. It goes to the back row. Now you have 2 more interruptions, right? So that was my mistake. I messed up with that. I'm sorry, right? This was literally like my 3rd duel with the deck ever. So moving forward, he's going to activate Pot of Extravagance. We're going to let that go through. Oh, wait, I didn't, because I assumed that he didn't have any cards to play because he set it off of his Heavenly Prison. So we're gonna go ahead, pop Sapphire Pegasus, stop the Pot of Extravagance, activate Conclave. He's going to activate Elixir, the Scarlet Sanguine, and then special summon his Edlich, the Golden Lord. We're gonna activate Conclave, special summon my Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. It's going to set Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon to the Spell and Trap card. We're going to activate Bridge of the Heart, send his other Spell and Trap back to his hand. Or was it the Heavenly Warders that we returned? It was the Heavenly Warlords that we returned. We activated Conclave to bounce Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon back to my hand and the extra trap he had set, right? So we're looking really good right now. We have this many Crystal Beasts in our back row. We have all 3 of our Awakenings in our hand. He's going to activate Scarlet in his graveyard to set a Spell and Trap from his deck. He's going to sell Edlich, the Golden Land Forever, which is fine. I don't know why he didn't activate it right here. He did activate Gozen Match, however, I think that's why he didn't activate it, because he was counting on the Gozen Match to stop me from being able to play the game, right? So we go ahead into Ruby. Ruby's going to activate to be able to special summon Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. We're going to activate Bridge of the Heart. He's going to activate Summon Limit, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and activate Bridge of the Heart to pop my Ruby, I believe is what I popped. No, I popped my Sapphire Pegasus in the back row to be able to go ahead and search Conclave. So then we hit his Edlich, the Golden Lord, with Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, set Conclave, pass turn. As you can see, I'm holding on to my 2 Awakenings just because I know if he destroys Ruby Carbuncle, I can just literally awaken her back to the field. Her, him, I don't know. Right, so he's going to go ahead and activate Scarlet, set Conquistador, activate Heavenly Prisons to be able to special summon to the field, and he's going to activate Edlich, the Golden Lord. We're going to activate Conclave to bounce Ruby to my hand and his Spell and Trap card in the back row. I probably should have gone for Gozen Match, but I was like, you know what? I'll just wait till next turn to go for Gozen Match, right? I know he couldn't kill me, so I was completely fine with that. I'm going to special summon Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. He's going to attack into Pegasus. Pegasus goes to the back row. Because of that, Rainbow Bridge of the Heart bounces Edlich. And now I think I'm in a much better spot. We do need to get rid of this Gozen Match. I'm going to go ahead and activate Maxi to force out his trap cards. He's going to activate because of the Maxi, because I guess he didn't want me to draw off of anything, which is fine. And then we activate Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, pop our Rainbow Dragon, grab Crystal Miracle. It's going to activate to bounce his Gozen Match. And this is where we do it, right? We special summon Ruby Carbuncle. We get to special summon our entire back row. So we special summon 2 Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragons, 2 Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus, and then we attack. He's going to special summon with Conquistador, which is fine. We're going to hit into that and then hit him for 18 and then hit him for 3,000. So we're kind of missing game right there. I was upset about that. I'm going to activate Summon Breaker, even though his deck only summons like twice, right? And then Crystal Miracle. So he's in a bad position here, right? He has 1 Edlich. He has 2 Edlich in his hand, right? Because I think he drew into another one. He has Summon Limit on the field. He has Conquistador on the graveyard, Haraka in the graveyard, and Guardian in the graveyard. I think Conquistador is limited to 2, right? And then he has 2 of his Scarlets in the Banish pile. So he has no more Scarlets. He has 1 more Scarlet in rotation, right? So I was confident in myself to be able to, you know, I can probably get over his Edlich. He thinks that having Summon Limit on the field does something to me. He 100% should have sent Summon Limit instead of sending Golden Land, because Golden Land is how he would have been able to negate my effects, right? But he would have still had to tribute his Edlich to Golden Lord, so I don't think it would have mattered. So we're going to activate Miracle, pop Sapphire Pegasus. It's going to go to the back row, negate Edlich to Golden Lord, keep it in the graveyard. He's going to activate Lord of the Heavenly Prisons. I think this is going to allow him to set. No, he just sets, and then he's going to activate his Guardian in the graveyard, and he's going to activate his Haikoru in the graveyard and Conquistador in the graveyard to set 3 back row. So I was very interested to see what he set. So he set 1 Elixir, and then he set the Elixir of Black Awakening, and then he set another Elixir of Black Awakening. I'm like, holy shit, this guy is 100% out of cards right now. So I'm like, perfect. He only has access to 1 Edlich, the Golden Lord. I don't really have to do much, right? I just have to make sure to get rid of this goes in match and get rid of the summon limit, and we could go for game. So we go ahead, we activate Rainbow Bridge. I know that all my monsters on the field are light monsters right now. We go ahead and grab Conclave. We only have 1 awakening on my hand, but I still have game. I can go ahead and attack, and then attack straight for game, right? So this was a game of me going back and forth with an opponent. Was quite a lengthy one, actually. So we're at the 30-minute mark here, so I think that's what we're gonna do for the games for today. So the next thing that we want to do is I'm going to upload a replays video of all the replays that I've gotten with the deck. There have been times where I've beaten Branded with a full Masquerade on field and Mara Jade on field and a Shaddoll window on field. I completely broke that board, and he had Branded in red, and we completely broke that board. So there have been times where this deck has completely like just shut down opponents' decks, and there have been times where, you know, going second is just very difficult to play through. Even with Droplet in the deck, because if you don't draw into Droplet, you kind of like praying that your Ash stops your opponent from playing, or maxing them stops them from wanting to play, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was entertaining seeing the replays, me breaking down the replays. We're gonna drop a replay video of all the Crystal Beast highlights that I have. I think some of them are really dope, but again, the deck is really about controlling your opponent. So it's one of those decks where you're not going to see the major back and forths where he's activating something, I'm activating something, he sets up a full board, I have to now break that board. No, we want to stop our opponent from being able to build whatever board that they want to set up, right? So here's the deck list. You guys can make some edits that suits yourself. You know, maybe you drop Necro Valley because it does stop you from special summoning, but remember, you can always bounce Necro Valley with Conclave, right? So you can add in Pot of Extravagance if you wanted to. You could drop 2 Maxis, adding 2 Pot of Extravagance. That's a tech that I've seen people do. And then recently Neshy dropped a video, and I didn't even think about this, but you can also do a thing with Nemesis where when you banish your Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, you can just use Nemesis to shuffle it back into the deck and then go into, I think it's Colossus, Thunder Dragon Colossus, which just stops your opponent from being able to add cards from the deck to the hand. But I don't want to craft any more URs, so this is the deck I'm going to be running, and it's been working for me, right? So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know there's no face cam today. Your boy looks horrible, no haircut right now, right? So as soon as the haircut gets right, then we're going to bring the face cam back, right? So hope you guys have a good one. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to hit that goal of 500 subscribers before the end of April. I think we could do it. Let's do it, okay? Make sure to share, comment, talk to me in the comments, man. I really try to answer every single comment in a timely manner. As soon as I wake up, the first thing I do is respond to comments. I love talking to you guys. The Discord is coming. I just want to make sure that I do the Discord thing correctly, and I have some people behind me to like work the Discord for me, because, you know, I'm very busy outside of just creating content. So, you know, but it is going to come. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, OJ Pizzy. I barely post on there because I barely have time to be on social media, right? So outside of me playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I do have a very busy life, right? So hope you guys stay blessed. Hope you stay prosperous. And most of all, stay blessed by the best. Don't be stressed. And it's been your boy, Jay Pizzy. Peace. I'm signing out.